What's up, YouTube? It's James the Red Engine, and today we're gonna predict every NFL team's record for 2025 season. Cause yeah, the 2025 NFL season is coming up soon. And another reason why I like to show you my predictions is because I've always been a huge fan of the NFL and the Green Bay Packers. And I've been watching the NFL since I was like 6 months old, I would just say. And my dad watches it too. He's a huge fan of the NFL. His favorite team is the Dallas Cowboys. So, anyways, link to the stream is in the description. So, yeah. Let me present you my predictions on Google Slides. Sorry I had to take a piss at the beginning of the video. I meant stream, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Here they are. Starting with my favorite team, you know it. Comment down your predictions of each team's record on the stream. Yeah, the Rams game was originally going to say a win with 28-22 in overtime. But yeah, sometimes my screen just likes to get fucked up. And for this one, I hope Jordan Love of the Packers gives the Packers a game-winning Hail Mary touchdown to whip the Eagles' ass for what they did to us last season. Sorry if the Denver Broncos color background is too light for you guys. You see, some people like to have it orange, while some people like me like to have it navy blue. I don't care whichever fucking way you do it. It is how it is. And I forgot to mention in the New Orleans Saints slide that this game might end is gonna predicted ending up being the quarter's 4-5 game, where Saints safety Justin Reed blocks Jason Myers' potential 44-yard game-winning field goal, and then Alvin Kamara wins the game with a 32-yard touchdown from Tyler Show. Yeah, they kind of deserve it. I mean, they're not that good as they used to be. Not trying to be rude or anything. Anyways, moving on. Despite the Jaguars suffering a 2-5 record in the first half of the season for the second consecutive year, I'm going to have them go 8-2 in the second half and win these games. And have them finish with a 10-7 record.
Yeah, you see, I like to have the Rams logo split between the blue side and the white side. For Rams fans, I'm sorry if 4 wins, 11 losses, and 2 ties make you upset. But it's just how my playoff predictor website decided. Anyways. I'll be right back. I just gotta look for something. Sorry, guys. I just had to get myself a snack.
Mm. 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 And last but not least, yes, the Detroit motherfucking Lions. The main reason why I did the Lions last is because, as a Green Bay Packers fan, I can't stand those fucking Lions. Because of their cheaters and our division rivals. And yeah, they beat us up twice. They deserve to lose that divisional round game against the Commanders. Mm. And now we are going to dive into the standings. And here are the conference standings. Surprisingly, the funniest thing is that the Packers, who will carry a 15-2 record, have a positive 543-point differential, while the winless 0-17 Panthers have a negative 350-point differential. In the AFC, we have seeds 12 through 16 having a 1-5 record against their division, which are the Ravens 4-12-1, Browns. I'll discuss it more fucking later. Well, the Ravens and the Browns both carry a 4-8 record against their conference, which is one different thing about this. And now we're going to discuss and go over the tiebreakers. Starting off with the NFC tiebreakers. The first one is between the Chicago Bears and the New York Giants. Hold on, let me finish this real quick. They both finished with 10-7 records. However, the Bears spanked New York's ass in Week 10. With the final score being 24-16 Bears. As a result, the Bears have the head-to-head tiebreaker over the Giants against the number 6 seed in the NFC. Next up, we end up in a three-way tiebreaker, which is between the Detroit Lions, the Seattle Seahawks, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. One thing we already know is they all finished with 8-9 records, but did not make the playoffs. And another thing we know about this tiebreaker is that Detroit has a strength of victory tiebreaker over the Seahawks and the Buccaneers. The next tiebreaker is between Tampa Bay beat Seattle 21-19. As a result, Tampa Bay has a head-to-head tiebreaker over the Seahawks and is crowned a higher rank in the NFC. And now, we move on to the AFC tiebreakers. The first one in the AFC is the AFC North tiebreaker between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals. They both finished with identical 11-6 records. However, the odd thing out is Cincinnati beat Pittsburgh's ass twice by scores of 24-10 in Week 7, and 20-19 in Week 11, which means Cincinnati gets first place in the AFC North, while Pittsburgh slides to the number 5 seed. Another team that finished with an 11-6 record is the Tennessee Titans, who won the AFC South. However, since Cincinnati swept their division, while Tennessee has a 4-2 record against their division, Cincinnati claims the number 3 seed over Tennessee based on division record, which means the Titans have to go to the 4th seed. The other tiebreaker is between the Cleveland Browns and the Indianapolis Colts. They both finished with 4-13 records and thus did not make the playoffs. Except for one thing. Cleveland has a higher conference record of theirs being 4-8 and Indianapolis as being 3-9. So that means, bam, Cleveland has a conference tiebreaker for higher rank in the AFC. Next up, we're going to simulate the playoffs. First, the NFC playoffs, which number 2 seed Green Bay beat up the New York Giants, who are the 7th seed, 36-22. Next up, 6th seeded Chicago Bears beat Dallas's ass, the number 3 seed, by a score of 34-31. Last up, the New Orleans Saints beat the shit out of the San Francisco 49ers 42-22. Now on to the divisional playoffs. The top-seeded Cardinals upended the Bears 38-29. Meanwhile, in the other divisional round, the Packers upset the Saints 38-28 via a Brandon McManus game-winning 39-yard field goal attempt. And in the NFC Championship game, the Packers managed to upset the top-seeded Cardinals 42-32 and advanced to Super Bowl 60. Now in the AFC playoffs, the 2nd seeded Kansas City Chiefs blew out the 7th seed New England Patriots with a dominant score of 42-10. While the 6th seeded Jacksonville Jaguars beat up the 3rd seeded Cincinnati Bengals by a final score of 32-28. And lastly, the Pittsburgh Steelers, 5th seeded, upset the 4th seeded Tennessee Titans 35-17. And in the divisional round, the Jacksonville Jaguars upset the top-seeded Buffalo Bills 39-12. What a dominant victory. While the Chiefs, on the other hand, managed to whip Pittsburgh's ass by a score of 36-30 in 6 fucking overtimes. Finally, the AFC Championship round, in which the Jacksonville Jaguars held on to win 32-30 after Harrison Butker's potential game-winning field goal gets blocked by the Jags defense. And now, in Super Bowl 60, drum roll please. Ta-da! The Green Bay Packers win their 5th Lombardi trophy by defeating the Jacksonville Jaguars by a final score of 38-30. Fun fact, this will be their first Lombardi trophy since winning Super Bowl 45 in 2010 to 2011. And last but not least, we're gonna go over the draft order. Wait 1 second. Here is the order of the draft. Starting off with winless Carolina Panthers, holding a 0-17 record in the first overall draft pick, followed by the 2-15 Las Vegas Raiders with the second. Third is the New York Jets, who finished 3-14. Indianapolis and Cleveland both finished with 4-13 records, but Indianapolis gets a 4th overall draft pick based on the mentioned conference record from earlier. The Ravens and the Rams swapped picks because normally, since Rams have 2 ties and the Ravens only have 1, the Rams should have got the number 6 overall pick, with the Ravens getting the 7th overall pick, which is currently being held by the 5-12 Houston Texans, who are behind the also 5-12 9th overall pick, the Washington Commanders. But however, Washington has the 9th overall pick because of strength of schedule. The Dolphins have a 6-11 record and therefore carry the 10th overall pick. The Denver Broncos and the Philadelphia Eagles both finished with 7-10 records. However, the Eagles got the 12th overall draft pick because Denver beat them in the regular season. In the Atlanta Falcons with 7-9-11, 7-9-1 record, holds the 13th overall draft pick. Whoa! The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Los Angeles Chargers, Seattle Seahawks, and the Detroit Lions are tied for the 17th overall draft pick. However, because of the mentioned NFC tiebreaker and each team's strength of schedules, Tampa Bay is getting the number 14, Chargers 15, Seahawks 16, and Lions 17. And our last non-playoff team happens to be the Minnesota Vikings, as they carry a 9-8 record and get the 18th overall draft pick. 1 second. That was a good snack. And now onto the wildcard losers, aka these 4 playoff teams. first off, with the 19th overall draft pick, will be the New England Patriots, carrying a 9-8 record, who lost to the Kansas City Chiefs in the wild card round of the playoffs. Also losing in the wild card of the playoffs, it's the New York Giants having a 10-7 record and the 20th overall draft pick. The Titans have an 11. Both the Titans and the Bengals have an 11-6 record, but Cincinnati has the 22nd based on the previously mentioned division tiebreaker. The Cowboys and the 49ers both also finished with an 13-4 record. However, the 49ers have better schedule and therefore get the 24th overall draft pick. Now to the divisional round losers. 25th overall draft pick belongs to the 10-7 Chicago Bears, who were beaten up by the Arizona Cardinals in the second round. 26th is the Pittsburgh Steelers, who carry an 11-6 record and lost to the Kansas City Chiefs in the second round of the playoffs. Up next with a 27th overall draft pick happens to be the New Orleans Saints with a 12-5 record, who were eliminated in the divisional round of the playoffs by the Green Bay Packers. And the 28th and final overall draft pick in the divisional loser is the Buffalo Bills with a 15-2 record, who were beaten by the Jacksonville Jaguars. And now onto the conference runner-ups. In case you don't know what a runner-up is, it's a person or a team that lost a game, which are the Kansas City Chiefs with 14-3 record in the 29th overall draft pick, and the undefeated 17-0 Arizona Cardinals with a 30th overall draft pick. Now on to the Super Bowl teams, which are the loser is the Jacksonville Jaguars, carrying a 10-7 record in the 31st overall draft pick. And the 32nd and final overall draft pick belongs to the Green Bay Packers, who carry a 15-2 record and have won Super Bowl 60. Hope you guys are happy with these predictions. Well, guys, that's it for my 2025 and 26 NFL teams record predictions. Make sure to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Remember, stay tuned for part 3 of Thomas and Friends, The Wall. This is James Redden signing off. Goodbye, and pickles suck.